So this was filmed at some Let Women Speak event at Speaker's Corner. On some trans activists showed up, possibly looking for trouble, and someone was like interviewing them and asking them questions. They're going a bit more into detail when I'm going to hear it anyway. So this is chat with trans activists at Speaker's Corner's Let Women Speak event. Let's see what's going on. I'm gonna guess this is one of them based on the everything. Let's have a look.
Yeah, no, I've got you.
They're chatting shit, yeah, bro. But I listen to them.
Hi. Yeah, I remember. How are you doing?
You're a journalist, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she's doing it.
Do you want to talk about this tonight?
Let me get my phone real quick.
Okay, cool.
What are you saying, Rob? What
How you doing? You alright? I'm Johnny. Nice to meet you.
But thank you,
Muslim?
thank you.
Muslim?
I'm from a Muslim family.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Ooh, not very popular in this country at the moment.
I can't touch your hand on that, but
You can. We're not in Saudi Arabia.
Anyway,
or something.
I wish you a good Ramadan.
Oh, hi.
I wish
So,
you-
do you guys want to talk? Sorry, I'll get you in without the sun in my eyes. I imagine that you guys support the movement to the trans rights movement. Do you think it's okay for women to speak at Speaker's Corner? You do. Okay, that's good.
They're allowed their freedom of speech, but freedom of speech isn't really freedom of consequences.
But you think they should suffer
Isn't freedom of speech isn't freedom of consequences? That's a common one. Wasn't expecting the first thing I'd hear to be chatting shit, bruv. Yeah, I was surprised as well. Maybe that person wasn't part of the trans thing. I assumed the long hair and the mustache and everything else was a pretty clear indicator, but I think these are much more obvious. Like, what the fuck is on this person's face? All I've seen them do so far is nod, but it has only been 1 minute, so...
consequences for having the positions that they do?
Maybe not legal
I'm back.
consequences, but opposing protesters are consequences.
Opposing protesters.
But opposing protesters are consequences. Opposing their protests. Are you on their side, or?
I'm kind of...
You on their side. You can tell by the wig. That's all you need to know this person's in a cult. I thought the one on the left was wearing a mirror ball on their face. Yeah, I don't even know what I thought it was. Like, is there anti-recognition technology, I guess. I don't know.
kind of on the fence. I've been trying to learn more about this issue, which is why I wanted to speak to people from the other side. But
their whole deal is, well, they're all just looking at me right now. We're just trying to exist here. We're not staring at them.
We're just trying to exist here. That's why we showed up at a fucking event. Okay.
Taking photos of them, really.
But the thing is can I just say, from what I've seen around London, is when these women do have these events, they tend to get attacked sometimes. But
Ooh, criticism. Trans people do not like criticism. Shit. She's gonna have to be careful, because this shit doesn't fly in the vicinity of trans people. You don't criticize trans people ever with any. It doesn't matter how small. Just never. You can't do that. That's a faux pas. These people are possibly gonna eat her alive now.
by people on the other side, whereas I have seen this. It's,
Is this person non-verbal? Is that what that's for? What the fuck is going on?
But I've also come to your protest outside Downing Street, and I don't see women there, and the feminists attacking your side. I have.
Sorry for the goofy voice, but they're not feminists.
Well, that's what they claim to be.
There's definitely a feminist backing behind gender critical. You can say they're not feminists, but you're just expressing an opinion ultimately.
I'm not arguing either side.
Right, well, we've had
They
to...
erode women's rights, so they're not really feminists, are they?
How are they eroding women's rights?
Okay,
They say that trans women are not women.
But how does that erode their rights?
How do they erode women's rights? They say that trans women aren't women. Well, trans women are males to start with, so women's rights. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Rights?
ban abortion?
Because...
Sorry, can I speak to one of you at a time? Sorry. If they don't believe that trans women are women, How does that deny a trans woman her rights?
Because they want to erase their whole idea is to erase our rights, not allowing us to go into the bathrooms and require.
Because the whole idea is to erase our rights. So circular logic, I guess.
But that was the right that women did fight for, to have their own single-sex spaces.
And trans women are women. It's a single gender space, not really.
No, it's a single-sex space. When they first started appearing.
Okay, it is a tough.
No, I'm talking about the history of it.
Erased trans women.
I'm
What? They're pussying out already? Oh no, they stay. Okay.
It's a single-sex space. When they first started appearing.
Okay, it is a tough.
No, I'm.
Oh, it's a turf. It's a turf. Okay, it's a turf. This is what these people do. Like, as soon as they can label you as something, they don't have to engage anymore. Just slap a label on someone and move on. That's all they do. I guess that's why I get called a pick-me, because it's easier to just label someone with something than actually think about the shit they're saying and actually think about why your arguments aren't just immediately converting them to your opinion beyond, oh, it's because they're TERFs, it's because they're bigots, blah, 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 which is lazy as fuck.
Talking about the history of it.
Erased trans women.
I'm not. I did.
You did, because you just said that trans women should not be.
You just erased trans women. It's weird how I didn't, like, click out of existence as soon as this conversation happened in fucking April 2023. But yeah, like, trans erasure is a thing, I guess. I don't know.
I did say that. I said that the women that fought for those rights, for those
You want to see real erasure? Try being trans in one of your own online spaces. There ain't any fucking trans people in there anymore, trust me. People that call themselves trans, but it's not the same thing.
bathrooms for those single sex.
She's already been indoctrinated.
Yeah, women have never.
Why don't you want to talk? This is how we.
These women have never fought for the right to single-sex spaces. They've always been allowed that.
No,
space.
that's not true.
Yeah.
They, actually, when women were fighting for the rights for their single-sex spaces, men were actually attacking women, and because they didn't want women to come out into social life. That's like the history of what occurred. Why? That's why it was considered a right. Like I'm just saying what occurred, and that's why women have they feel like they didn't get a chance to even have a conversation about this. I'm glad that you're talking. I do really appreciate it because
also they do get violent. Me and my friend walked through. We got assaulted like 3 times.
Here.
Yes, to just stand in here. The reason why they don't.
They got assaulted. They look fine. Are they going to say what happened to them? I don't know.
Don't really get violent towards the trans protesters as much is because there's large numbers of us. But when me and Sophie were just standing, me and my friend were just standing there. Yeah.
Because you know what, I was here last weekend.
Yeah, they won't go into details though. I don't know. I shouldn't be disbelieving them over something that small, but this is what trans people are like. You kind of have to scrutinize everything, and when they inevitably just flip out and start calling you a TERF or whatever, then you've probably suggested something true that they don't like very much.
And I think we saw each other. I might have asked you I might have asked if you wanted to do an interview.
Oh, look who's back.
And I actually got punched in the side by somebody and umbrellas, and all I wanted to do. Sorry, can I just talk to her? Sorry.
Aw, denied.
And
tensions rise very high.
yeah, but I understand that. I saw that last week. We all did, but I didn't experience any violence from.
The state of their hair wouldn't surprise me if they were telling the truth. Who knows? I don't know. The word assault can mean about 20 million different things coming from these people's mouths. So I don't know. I don't put anything past anyone anymore.
This side,
And I mean, hey, on the other side, we've got everyone just deciding that some boxer from Algeria is definitely trans with zero proof whatsoever because they had high testosterone in a test last year, which doesn't make anyone a man by itself. But yeah, I pretty much don't trust anyone with anything they say anymore.
Because you're a cisgender woman. You are not going to experience any violence if you're not.
Back with the labels, you're not going to experience any violence?
That's because you're a cisgender woman. You are not going to experience any violence if you're not the people that they are against.
Wouldn't that suggest that being a cisgender woman, you might experience violence if if you're in like a pro-trans like protest or something. I don't know. It's a bit dodgy, this. Like, sure, I'm sure you have plenty of experience as a cisgender woman. You sound like it. Fuck.
Well, I'm not on their side. I'm not like I'm basically.
No, you're not on their side, and you're not on our side.
Yeah.
You're just a member of the public, or just a journalist.
Yeah.
They don't mind.
Yeah, but so are you saying that if there's trans women here, they would attack them?
Yeah, so I'm going to attack more times.
Yeah. Do you think that there's any kind of sense of like finding common ground between people where you could maybe even discuss things with accepting that you have differences, but you know.
Discussions are like they're left for discussions, for arranged discussion. That's what it's there for. But when you just have a huge group of people standing against basic human rights for people, it's just not.
But this is
Basic human rights. Luke Skyrunner, how you doing?
a question I asked that guy. What rights are lacking?
I reckon the right to medical care, the right to.
But are the women? That's the system, right? That's the government.
Yes, but it's the government. But when you stand with the government, if you stand against our rights, you're standing with the government.
Not you again. No,
But
Shaggy.
don't you think that the government is supporting your rights?
No.
You don't think so?
No, you was on
Like,
that side. No,
the police last week didn't do anything.
why not? Is that
Insofar as like, you know, the trans activists attacking people.
There's like another argument going on like next to them. That must be the guy from the start. Hang on.
Yeah, no, I've got you.
They're chatting shit, yeah, bro. But I
Yeah.
listen to them.
Hi. Yeah, I remember. How are you
I think
doing?
it's that person. He keeps kind of wandering in and out, and now I can hear people arguing behind them. Anyway.
Attacking people. Like,
What are you
Why are you arguing against? Okay.
We're gonna go now.
okay, nice chatting to
Very
you.
much for the chat.
You
Really
lot come up
appreciate it.
here.
Can I just ask though, why is it? I've noticed on one side. Why do you guys cover your faces? Is it?
Like to talk to people after events.
Who tried to dox?
Turks like to talk to people after events.
They like to
And-
dox you and release all your personal information,
They
so
haven't
you can
tried
get
that
attacked.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that happening on both sides.
I wouldn't accept either side saying it's only one side that does it, to be honest. I think probably both sides are as bad as each other. It's the same with like harassment and stuff. Someone says it's only the other side that does it, just don't believe them. Like, it's bullshit.
Like, women have lost their jobs for having the feminist position.
For having the tough position, right?
Well, it is a feminist position because it's pro-women.
It's pro women, but not.
It is in the Equality Act actually for women to have.
Wait, you can't talk. It's pro women, but it's not pro all women. You're not a feminist unless you are pro
But
all women.
how can you have-
Transgender or not?
You know what the femin
Wait, are these people pro all women? Are they pro TERF? So are they feminists?
feminism stands for?
Female.
Yeah,
Trans women are females.
but no,
they're
female
not.
is a sex.
They're not females. If you want to say trans women are women, then sure. But if you want to say that trans women are female, then no. They're not female, they're male. Every conversation now seems to disintegrate into opposing fallacy battle on both sides now. There's absolutely no way to have an intelligent conversation. Mirror image, hi. Yeah, I guess I agree with that. I wish there were more, like, actual conversations. You do see the odd one, like, usually when you've got people from both sides who are at least willing to be reasonable and hear the other side even if they don't agree with it, like, you know, there's a few out there, I guess, but quite often, I mean, you know, it becomes like ideologue versus ideologue for sure, unfortunately. And at this point, like, we're practically speaking like different languages in some ways.
Category. I thought it was
No, it's
gender.
not.
It is.
There's
Two sexes, male and female.
There's not even two
Gender.
sexes.
Gender.
There's not even two sexes. Like, what? Where are these people? Like, who's teaching them this shit? That's what I'd want to know. My God.
Can be a spectrum, sure, right? That's the argument because transgender. They don't say transsex, right?
This lot
I mean, there was the old term
harassing
of
them.
transsexual.
That was an old term, yeah, but
I still use transsexual, but I'm not saying that I've changed my sex. You take on certain, like, characteristics of the opposite sex in order to be more like them. But, like, your sex doesn't change, and, like, I don't know why these people believe what they do about like sex, but they're very wrong. Like, sex is a binary. It's male and female. That is how it is, unfortunately.
It's but that's separate to the gender.
I know, as soon as someone's
But on a biological and scientific level, there's male and female sex. That's binary. But
Feminism includes
intersex people are also male and female.
The worst thing is I can't understand a word this fucking person says because they've got this stupid thing in their face. They seem to be talking in a weird high-pitched voice that they can't do very loud. Because that's often how it is when you're a male and you try and do a high-pitched voice, you know. I don't know. I'm not trying that hard, to be fair. But like, yeah, I can't understand a word they're fucking saying. So they keep interrupting, so I can tell they're not really listening to what this woman's saying. But all I can hear is what she's saying. So I'm just hearing what no one's hearing, you know. It's kind of irritating. I don't know. Like, yeah. I guess with the sound setup, it's not going to be amazing. It's not, they've got clip-on mics that they put on everyone before making sure they could have this conversation or some shit. I don't know.
And their conditions are sex specific to whether they're male or female. Okay, you could take.
Oh, you're filming it, so.
I wonder if they're going to dox her after saying they're wearing shit on their faces to avoid being doxed.
No. But like, gender is a spectrum. That's the argument. And
Sex is actually also technically a spectrum because there's
Oh my god. They're going to say intersex, aren't they?
about 6 different chromosomes genotypes.
Yeah, they're going to say intersex. Intersex does not disprove the binary. You're just wrong about this. Whoever's been teaching you, you need to get your money back. Or you need to tell them that they've filled your head full of shit and you're making a fool of yourself on the internet because of it.
So scientifically, sex is also a spectrum.
so what's the name of a third sex?
Yeah, we've had sex. Intersex.
Intersex is not a third sex. Intersex is male and female people.
The scientific term for every sex in my mind, but there's 2 chromosomes, and you can have 3 different chromosomes. It can be XXY.
Like, I have.
Combination of 3, like the combination of 3 has 6 different alternate combinations. There are 6 alternate genotypes, which make scientifically there are 6.
That's complete bullshit.
No, because the person.
Yeah, everything they're saying, that doesn't disprove the binary. They're completely wrong.
Wait. Can we?
What the fuck is going on? It was getting a bit like heated behind them. I was trying to tune it out.
Can we?
Past biology.
I didn't do biology.
But can I just please do an interview? Sorry.
Anyway, leave me alone.
Sorry. I just on this question of intersex, I have looked into this, and people who have sexual development disorders, which is what intersex means. Sorry.
Technically, they're not disorders. They're just.
Oh, Jesus Christ! This person is like they have downed the fucking Flavor Aid wholesale. Oh my god.
That's the medical term for what is behind intersex. DSDs, development of sexual disorders, and that means that they can have secondary sex characteristics of the opposite sex. Can I please finish?
What is this about? Into the Abyss? Hi. So these people have showed up to it was a Let Women Speak event, one of those kind of gender critical groups, and this person is like arguing with them about intersex currently because trans people don't know fuck all about intersex. So that's currently what we're on. There was a bit of drama going on behind the camera, but I think that seems to have cleared up now.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
It's actually developmental sex disorders, not
Yeah, developmental sexual disorders. So you understand that. But the conditions, the intersex conditions are sex specific, so...
Yeah, she's right. Like, what these people think about intersex being like a third or evidence of more sexes is just not true.
Some people have the... So you get that. So, but intersex is not a third sex. It's male and female people experience. So you but my question was, what is the name of a third sex? And you gave me intersex, but that's not a third sex. They are male or female.
Yeah, but
They're male or female with secondary sex characteristics. Inter, and what does that inter between male and female? That's what the inter means.
Get wide in, please. At the end of the day, feminism is females supporting women's rights.
It's a shame that she keeps interrupting her cartoon character friend because her friend is actually a bit more intelligent than she is. Like, I would have actually liked to have heard a bit more what she was trying to say there. Like, I think the woman with the camera is kind of talking over her a bit, but then it's not difficult to talk over someone that is talking that quietly into like a huge fucking plate on their fucking face. So I don't know. That's her own fault, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Trans women, and women.
But they're biologically male, right?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter because women have the movement of feminism for women's rights because they were lacking them. Now, okay, can I just ask one question?
They are both women. The trans women, as long as
Yeah, we're just saying it over and over. That's nice.
a trans woman who pass 100% in society will experience at least 96% of the same issues that cis women.
So can
What? 96% of the same issues? Does that include, like, heavy periods? Does that include, like, for the vast majority of us being wolf whistled when we're trying to walk fucking home from school or some shit? What's my positions on trans issues? I tend to sit somewhere in the middle between, like, gender critical and trans. I am trans myself, yeah. So yeah, things like, for me, I don't think trans women are really women. I see myself as male, you know, in terms of my sex. And obviously I've changed things to become more like a woman, but, you know, I'm still a male, ultimately. What they were just talking about with intersex, I don't agree with anything that they were saying, that it's evidence of, like, sex being a spectrum or, like, a third sex existing or something. Like, to me, intersex is a group of, like, issues that could affect men or women, depending. A few other things. I'm not down with, like, transitioning kids. I think people should start at 18. Not really big on, like, teaching, like, some of the weird gender ideology in schools as well. A lot of the gender stuff, I think, is extremely, like, theoretical. There's, like, very little scientific basis for things like gender identity, where something like sex is, like, very easily observable, especially when we have to exist because of sex, you know? So yeah, hopefully that kind of gives an idea. But, like, I'm not, like, anti-trans rights. I'm not like, oh, I've had it done and now I want everyone else to fuck off or something. Like, I think if we went around being a bit more sensible, then maybe we'd make a bit more headway on some of the more important stuff, like closing down the wait times, for example. Like, the clinic that I went to took me about 10 months before I'd see anyone, and now it's about 5 or 6 years. So, like, stuff like that I think is important and think should be fixed, because I think adults should have the right to transition. But I think we should also have, like, realistic positions on stuff like that, you know?
can a black person... Okay.
Trans women will be raped.
I know, I understand that. I understand all of that. But can a...
I don't want to be crowded, please.
Okay, sorry, you guys. Can a white person become identify as black?
No, that goes against basic biology.
That goes against Jesus. Yeah, another thing, the whole, like, identify thing. I don't think people actually identify as things. I don't know. I think there's gender dysphoria. Hey, maybe it exists that there's dysphoria for having lighter skin than you want, but I don't know.
Well, it's race, which is a social construct here. But my argument is because you say that if men can identify, basically what I'm arguing is...
What's your pronouns?
Stop it, Jim.
I just want to have a quick question.
We're just talking.
Well,
are you
when you're talking to me, when you're talking to me, I will go as you.
What, are you supposed to be a
First
woman?
person. No, that's
Do you
second
identify
person.
as a woman?
Look,
But
so
I go as
so get away from them.
I was
Like,
born a woman.
yeah. So do you? What's your like identity now?
I identify as a woman. I was born.
Yeah.
I identify the same way I was born.
Okay.
That person was not born female. I do not believe you for a second.
No. So, but if you think. But so my argument was like, I don't think that people can opt into an oppression. So like a white person wanting to opt into...
You mean opt into oppression? You can't control what your gender is. And also...
No, agree.
Well, surely you can just call yourself trans and you're trans these days, though. That seems to be the accepted wisdom.
to opt into.
We mean opt into oppression. You can't control what your gender is, and also.
No, agreed. But like, so if a biological male opts into the female.
So just because a trans.
Can I please finish my sentence?
Okay,
Just
go on.
if a biological male opts into the female sex, they're ultimately opting into the oppression, because the male is the dominant class here, of the male and female class.
Just because technically you've not opted into it.
Well, no, I don't mean opt in like as in a kind of, I don't know, sorry, we've got like a huge audience. I was just trying to ask some questions.
I'm just doing it. I'm just speaking to somebody in the crowd.
You're free to walk away if you feel proud.